I got into this profession for one thing, to help people. But the system and how we're approaching this has gotten so backwards. Can someone please tell me why? Why don't doctors tell you to take vitamin D3 in the winter for your immune system with vitamin K2? There's no sun in most states in the winter, which is why all the blood numbers fall. And without vitamin K2, that can actually lead to calcification of your arteries. Why don't doctors tell you to use zinc and quercetin instead of prescribing chloral or Ivor drugs? They have the very similar effect, except the drugs can cause liver and GI damage and cause people to be dizzy and have chest pains. They're side effects. Why don't doctors show you the drug insert that goes along with any injection or drug and then go through the side effects with you based on the insert of what they prescribe? Each drug has an average of 70 side effects, and many of the drugs interact with each other, interact with food, and they might be causing more damage than the disease. Why don't doctors tell you that herbs and certain foods can also heal? Just throw it in there. Why don't doctors recommend lemons, strawberries, and acerola cherries to proactively boost your vitamin C levels? We know it's an immune booster. Most vitamin C supplements are not real food like those are, and they're made from corn and sugar. Why don't doctors hand you a food list and a nutrition plan when you're diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, when we know they're driven by bad foods? This is why diseases like celiac, driven by gluten, and arthritis are related to those foods, gluten and acid. Why don't doctors tell you to lower dairy and your sugar in your food and drink lemon tea with a little bit of honey in it when you have a cough or congestion? Because studies show honey is as good as cough medicine and dairy increases phlegm. Why aren't you informed by your doctor that if you get something like a fish oil or a turmeric every single day, it will support thinning your blood and lowering inflammation naturally, and you won't need the medication or as much of the medication? This is why a person is advised not to eat foods like that when they're taking a blood thinning drug. Why doesn't your doctor tell you to take activated charcoal after an injection or after taking drugs several hours after or a day later to reduce headaches and bloating and gas and skin issues and colds and nausea? Because activated charcoal bonds wastes and toxins that often come along with those injections and drugs, and it helps remove them from the body. Why don't doctors tell you to take magnesium or eat foods high in it like black beans when you take vitamin D? Or magnesium is going to end up becoming depleted. And if you're magnesium deficient, it creates cramping and muscle pain and heart issues and headaches, just to name a few side effects. Why don't doctors mandate exercise and eliminating fast food instead of just a face covering or separation? Why wear a cover all day, except when you pull up to the drive-thru and eat a Big Mac and a Coke? Why don't doctors try aloe and green juice or apple cider vinegar for acid reflux instead of prescribing Prilosec and Nexium? Because acid reflux drugs just like that cause a 25 times increase in kidney failure long term. Why isn't your doctor suggesting that you take a probiotic every day, especially after they give you an antibiotic? Antibiotics kill good bacteria, which weaken your immune system long term. Probiotics support a healthy immune function. They clean and balance the bowels, they regulate absorption and elimination, and they keep you from getting more colds and allergies in the future. Why don't doctors just create a don't get sick lifestyle plan for their patients instead of only offering injections and pills? Diet and lifestyle choices are major causes of all illnesses, especially for your immune function. Why don't doctors test for antibodies and viruses for every single thyroid condition and every single suspected thyroid patient instead of just handing out thyroid drugs like my mom? 80+% of thyroid conditions are caused by an immune response. It's not the thyroid itself. Why don't doctors tell you to take supplements to support your health prior to becoming sick? Herbs and supplements and foods can prevent illnesses by supporting immune function and various organs functions with their natural abilities. Why don't the doctors address the fact that 80% of the hospitalizations that they're seeing are due to one thing: stress? Emotions play a huge role in our total health, and it's been made worse by this pandemic. And without tools to help navigate the emotions and reduce the stress, we can easily become physically ill. If doctors really care, then why don't they spend their free time doing this? I know they don't get it during the day, but why don't they spend their free time doing it? Or why don't we stand up to it? And why do they just stand at the bottom of the hill with an ambulance instead of standing at the top of the hill with roadblocks? Why aren't doctors focusing on health instead of sick care? The longer we keep allowing them to do it and asking for more drugs from their boss, Big Pharma, they're just going to keep delivering that. This needs to change. But you are the solution. We can blame the doctors all day, but you are the solution. No one will take better care of you than you. We just aren't seeking the right information and demanding to get to the cause of the problems we face. The Immunity Masterclass is going to help answer all these questions and more so that you can be your own solution.